This is all about harmony within the European Union, something that's a constant quest, of course. And I thought I'd do a little show and tell for you and our viewers today, Nadia. I have printed out my freshly minted EU digital COVID certificate, not calling it a COVID passport for political reasons, of course. Now, this actually folds out into A4 size. It's got some personal information on there, but what you'd actually show at an airport or the Eurostar, whatever, would be this. Just has your name, date of birth, and a QR code that gets scanned. So these being issued by each different member state of the European Union and 4 other European countries, members of the EEA plus Switzerland. And it shows whether you're partially or fully vaccinated, when your last vaccine dose was, whether you had a negative COVID test in the last 72 hours if you haven't got a vaccination, or it could also be if you have antibodies for COVID-19, again, if you haven't had the actual vaccine itself. So all of those differences, it's important to take those into account because the EU leaders well aware that they have not vaccinated the entire population, not even offered the vaccine to everyone. There are some age groups, particularly younger people, that cannot be left out of travel, of course. Only 41% of Europeans have had both doses of the vaccine at this point. So how it works, there's a portal put together by the European Commission, which means that all the different member states can recognise all of these different codes, and it's about reopening travel, they say, in a safe way. Tourism is so important here in the European Union. Some countries, such as Greece, it makes up 20% of GDP there, and they're also trying to avoid chaos like we saw last year when there was just a real mass panic closing borders in this.
At Paris's Orly airport on Thursday morning, the digital COVID certificate got off to a smooth start. Passengers displayed their personal QR code, which can also be printed. It shows vaccinations, test results and proof of recovery. Once scanned, they're good to go.
It's very easy to use. We've had the 2 doses of the vaccine. When that was done, we received a document with a flash code. We opened the application and flashed it, and it gave us the pass.
Thursday is the official launch, but some countries like Belgium have been using it already. At Brussels airport, the lines were longer, and the fact that destination countries can still impose their own restrictions caused delays.
As long as we don't have the content of that QR code linked to the destination the passenger is traveling to, it doesn't really help us. So we cannot really scan the code at this moment, and we still need to perform all the checks visually to see if the passenger meets the requirement of his destination.
The certificate is meant to replace costly airport tests and lengthy periods of quarantine. States must accept vaccines approved by the EU, although countries have discretion to also accept Russian and Chinese vaccines.
Today, the European Digital COVID Certificate reassures us of this spirit of an open Europe, a Europe without barriers, but also a Europe that is slowly but surely opening up after the most difficult time, the pandemic.
But across Europe, the Delta variant is rising, and the new regime allows member states to impose tighter arrival rules from countries badly hit with 48 hours notice. Many EU countries desperately need tourists back. They can't afford another lost summer. Freedom of movement has enormous symbolic importance within the bloc. Brussels hopes the new certificate is the answer. But if cases keep rising across the continent, countries will take measures to protect their populations from outside infection, and the new system will come under real pressure. Simon McGregor Wood, TRT World.